Hello, everyone. I'm so glad you're here. My name is Elizabeth Van Bebber, and I'm the playwright for the play you're about to hear read. A couple of notes quickly before we start. First off, the script is still in development. If you'd like to give me any feedback, you can stick around for the Zoom reception that's happening afterwards at 9 p.m., or you can email me at my Gordon address. Because we're doing this reading online, we're also faced with some of the limitations of the technology we're using. In the event that one of our readers drops out of the call for any significant period of time, Praise, who is also reading for the angel, will take over for them until they're able to return. So with all that said, thank you so much for watching and enjoy. Actors, whenever you're ready.
In the dark, the sounds of a bustling city, people talking and selling, cars honking, etc. Perhaps there are some children playing nearby, or some wedding bells in the distance. A figure appears before the audience. He wears a white linen shirt and has an air of authority about him, as if he's running the show. This is the angel of the Lord.
During the reign of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, marched against Jerusalem and besieged it.
The stage around the angel lights up with flames.
And I gave into his power Jerusalem, her people, and my temple.
The city is filled with violence. Bombs are dropped, buildings are destroyed, sounds of fire burning away everything these people once took for granted.
And Nebuchadnezzar took them back with him to Babylon, where our present story unfolds.
The angel sits in the audience, but in view of all to watch all that follows. Lights up on Daniel, aged about 14 or 15, sitting at a school desk. He is writing in a notebook, slowly copying some text in another language, which will eventually be the Akkadian, but is currently a placeholder from the large book. Beside him, Ashpenaz, middle-aged, is sitting tutoring him. They've clearly been at this quite a while. Muttering to himself as he copies.
It's Rosh Harnav et Shok is.
Good. Now let's translate.
Daniel lets out a frustrated sigh.
I'm here. I'll help. Now, this first word, ketzot, what part of?
Verb.
Yes. Case?
Call, definitely. Infinitive.
No.
Imperative.
Yes. Parsing?
Second masculine singular. And the second.
Wait a second. What's the root?
Is that cuts that to cut?
Yes.
Sounds like it.
It does. And?
The second word is that with?
Not quite.
Oh, duh, it's the definite object marker. And that's definitely the word for head. But the third one, harnav, I don't know it.
Well, let's take it apart.
But I don't know it.
You do. What's the prefix?
It's a prefix?
He stares at the text for a second.
Oh, duh. It's a definite article.
Exactly.
But I still don't know that root.
Think back to yesterday.
Is it star?
No.
Bird?
No.
A tree?
No.
Daniel stands up and leans his head against the wall.
Belteshazzar, come here. Sit down.
After a moment, Daniel obeys.
You're doing wonderfully. I wouldn't be teaching you myself unless you were light years ahead of the other boys.
Thanks. Just Hebrew was so much easier.
This is the language of culture, so of course it's difficult. Cheer up, you're doing great. Come on. What's this root?
Daniel stares at the text through teary eyes, then an epiphany.
Is that the word for rabbit?
Yes!
They high five.
Now, translation?
cut off the head of a... And
Daniel goes pale. He knows what this is.
poor bunny.
I know. You'll get used to it. What about the next word?
Sir, what do we need this for? Tell me it's not.
For magic? What else? It's all right. We're not starting with this.
Thank God.
We'll work our way up to it.
Can I go to the nurse?
Are you okay? Go to your room and lie down. We're done for today.
Thank you, sir. And I won't be at dinner.
You haven't been for the last several days. Don't think I haven't noticed. Well, okay, this once. Go lie down.
Thank you, sir.
Ashpenaz exits. The scene changes and around a disoriented Daniel. Daniel's room. Around the room are sprawled his three friends, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who are all about his age, impatiently waiting for him. Daniel enters the room.
Daniel! Hey, where you been?
What happened?
Daniel goes over to his bed and lies down.
Did you, I don't know, get
Can I
lost?
see?
Yeah, I bet he...
But it's been 2 weeks since...
You're one to talk.
Hey!
It's true. You'd get lost with a pillar of cloud.
They laugh. Daniel does not.
Hey, what's gotten into you?
Rough day, but it wasn't as bad as...
Come on, guys.
No, seriously, you gotta.
Tell it, Azaria.
Okay, so I was in the back corner, right, minding my business, and one of the other kids,
Judean or Babylonian?
I don't know.
Babylonian, I bet.
Same.
Anyway, he leans over and he whispers, "Help me out. What's the Enuma Elish?"
Wow.
He didn't know.
I know, right?
Bet he failed.
100%.
What did you do?
Nothing, I froze.
It gets better. Right then,
Let me tell it. So, right then, Ashpenaz comes waltzing over and says, "Did I just catch you boys cheating red-handed?"
what did you say?
No, sir. But you know what the other boy said? He said, "No, that's just a red herring."
Snickering.
That's not what that means.
We know, that's the point.
Lighten up.
I gotta laugh something around here.
Guys, I can't take this anymore.
Can't take what?
I had to translate a spell book. I almost vomited.
Silence.
Are we gonna have to do that?
You bet we are.
Daniel lays down again.
What choice do we have?
I don't know.
There's gotta be a way.
What way? There's no way out of this. None.
Silence. Daniel utters something under his breath. How deserted lies the city once so full of people.
Dad would know. My dad would know what to do.
You know what he'd say?
Yeah, I know, but still.
Yeah.
Where is he, do you think? You think he's here or there?
Please, let's not go there.
And Tobiah and Joash and...
Stop! Okay, not in the mood. And anyway, like Hananiah said, what would it do? You know, why not just not care anymore? Seriously.
What?
Seriously. He spit us out of his mouth. Why bother being tasteful?
Azariah.
What? Am I wrong?
There has to be...
What? Has to be what? Why else are we here? Explain that.
Muttering to himself.
Adonai, Adonai, Elohim vechene, erech apiyim verov shesremet.
The Lord, a God merciful and gracious, slow to anger and abounding in steadfast love and truth.
Look, why should we bother? Why obey God when he's abandoned us here?
Listen to yourself. Are you serious?
You can't say stuff.
Stop ganging up on me.
You've just...
Again, explain to me why.
Abednego. You want to be a servant of Nebo? Then speak for yourself. My name is Daniel.
Silence.
Look, Daniel, no, I don't.
But what other choice do we have?
Yeah.
More silence.
You know, guys, I've been thinking,
Okay.
what if, we can't technically eat the royal food. It's sacrificed to...
Is that why you haven't?
Yes, it is. But give God the opportunity.
To be faithful.
Yes, to us,
How?
by being faithful to him.
And
We'll be vegetarian and let God provide for us,
Why?
like he did Adam and Eve in the...
Daniel, poetic as ever.
You guys with me?
Count me in.
Me too.
Azariah?
I'm in, but I am not figuring out where these veggies come from.
Blackout. Daniel's room is transformed back into the schoolroom. Ashpenaz tutoring Daniel, as in scene 1.
And an eagle's talon.
Excellent work.
Thank you, sir.
My young Belteshazzar, you've done enough for today. You feeling better?
Yes, sir.
And I'll see you at dinner tonight?
No response.
I'll see you, right?
Sir,
He trails off.
Talk to me.
sir, I've wanted to ask. Hear me out. I've wanted to ask.
Go on.
I would like to not be required to eat that food. I know this will sound really strange, but it would make me unfit and dirty and compromised.
What? Why? To whom?
So,
I mean, His Highness's entire reason is to make you fit.
no, sir, not the king. It's religious.
The gods don't care.
It's my God, sir.
What have you been eating this whole time?
Breakfast. The bread is okay.
What? Okay, listen. You will eat today.
Sir,
No. No pushing me on this. I cannot have you starving under my care.
please.
Go to...
Please, hear me out. I'll eat vegetables, beans, bread.
Listen to me. I can't. Even if I wanted to, I can't. If the king were to see you all sickly and thin and haggard, listen, you'd never see me again. Do you want that?
No, I wouldn't.
Look, I admire the sentiment, but why do you care what your God thinks of you now? It's Bel who looks out for you now. That's why I named you what I did. Cheer up.
10 days.
What?
10 days. Give me vegetables for only...
What did I just...
Only 10 days. Watch. I bet you I won't be sickly and hag-ridden as you think.
No way.
Maybe not, but give it a chance. If, after that, it comes true and I'm sickly and thin, well, I promise I'll eat the king's food. All of it. But look, if I look better...
How on earth will you...
If I look better, then let me honor my God this way. Try it, sir, please.
Silence.
Your persistence in worshiping your God is going to come back to bite you. Fine. 10 days. That's all.
Thank you, sir.
Just go to your room. I expect to see you bright and early tomorrow.
Daniel exits. After a moment, Ashpenaz exits too. Trumpets. In the dark, sounds of an enormous parade. Shouts of, "Long live the king!" It is a victory procession for Nebuchadnezzar. The scene is now the president's cabinet room. In the middle of the night, Nebuchadnezzar sits alone at the head of the table. Arioch, the head of the king's secret service, enters and sees Nebuchadnezzar.
Your Highness, they'll be here soon.
No response.
Your Highness?
Yes. Oh, yes. Thank you.
Would you like your regalia?
No. Yes. I pretend.
Lighter.
What are the chances they will be either?
Probably pretty low.
Nebuchadnezzar chuckles, but it quickly fades away. Silence.
Grab me a comb. Make some attempt to look like a king.
Should I wake up the servants?
They'll be all over me. Just a comb is fine.
Yes, sir. Highness, you should at least change into a suit.
Fine.
Your Highness.
Arioch ushers Nebuchadnezzar off stage and exits after him. After a beat, a chorus of Chaldeans and Ashpenaz enter, hurrying to their places at the table. They look like they have made an enormous effort to look as formal and put together as they can, as quickly as they can, but the effect has not quite succeeded. Finding that the king is not there, they begin talking amongst themselves, saying things like, "Where is the king? And couldn't we have waited till morning? And what could he have possibly wanted? And why the urgency?" Arioch re-enters.
Attention. His Royal Highness, King Nebuchadnezzar, second of his name, favored Marduk, King of Babylon, Lord of Azariah, conqueror of Phoenicia, and ruler of the whole earth.
The Chaldeans stand at attention. Nebuchadnezzar re-enters and moves to the head of the table. He has changed into a suit and combed his hair, but otherwise looks just as troubled as before. He mentions for them to sit, and they do so. Arioch and perhaps another member of his secret service stand behind him.
"O great and powerful Nebuchadnezzar, your majesty, tell us why you wish to consult us at so early and..."
Shut up. Cut to the chase, shall we? I've had nightmares. Recurring ones.
Oh, your majesty, you can...
Psychiatrist, I know. Listen, 7 nights in a row, with no sign of stopping. Even during a nap the other day. I swear, one of the gods was trying to communicate with me.
Your Highness, are you sure there is not something else?
Like what you've been eating?
We can hire an expert to look into it. Your Majesty...
No, haven't anything unusual since I got back.
Your Highness, is there something you're anxious about?
And you think I wouldn't do something about it?
Well, it's certainly possible.
It's been known to happen.
It even happened to your father once. He was visited by Marduk and the...
I'm aware. You claim to know the will of the gods? Explain it to me.
Awkward silence.
Your Highness.
You haven't told us your dream.
And?
Tell us your dream, your majesty, and we would be happy.
Delighted even to interpret it for you.
Obviously, I wasn't clear. Tell me my dream first, and then explain it.
More awkward silence.
Your Highness, I think I speak for everyone that you need to tell us your dream first, Your Highness.
And we'll need some time to consult the books.
Please, give us time, Your Highness.
Seriously? Tell me the dream.
Your Majesty, please tell us what the...
More for you.
Your Highness.
Please,
Everyone! Explain to me why I should trust your dream interpretation manuals. Flatterers, all of you, greedy, insolent liars. I'll make myself crystal clear. I will trust your explanation if and only if you can tell me my dream first. Then I'll know you're telling the truth. Understood? Look, I'll even sweeten the deal. I'll lavish presents for days on the one who can do this. Whatever you ask, my word. If you cannot, I'll have Arioch here line you all up and shoot you on the spot.
Chaos erupts at the table. Nebuchadnezzar waits for it to die down.
Thank you. My mind is made up.
Please, no one has ever asked this before.
Don't you have divine knowledge? Shouldn't be hard.
We can't do it. Go and ask the gods, not us.
Nebuchadnezzar takes a moment to process what has just been said. Then he becomes livid.
Idiots! Traitors! You conspire to... You want me wrapped up around your little finger. You'd take my throne if you could. I'll kill you, charlatans, before the night is out!
Arioch seizes Ashpenaz. The rest of the Chaldeans scatter.
Arioch,
Yes, sir.
I want all these so-called wise men rounded up and executed.
Nebuchadnezzar storms off stage.
The trainees?
Arioch and Ashpenaz make eye contact. Blackout. Daniel's room. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego are sprawled around the room. Daniel has his notebook on his lap, studying.
I took that yesterday.
What'd you get?
Missed it.
He wasn't asking you.
It's true.
Nice.
I aced it too.
Nice.
Bet I did better.
Oh, really? What did you get?
97.
98.
You did not.
Guys, guess what I got?
What?
99.5.
Yeah, you did.
And you, sir overachiever, are going to be just fine.
Especially with all those veggies.
You're ridiculous.
It's true. Never felt better.
I know, right?
Miming a superhero position.
Come on, exams. You're no match for the...
Hush, let me finish.
The three friends are all over Daniel in his notebook.
You have, what, 10 pages?
Out of what, 100?
That would be...
No, guys, seriously, Ashpenaz will be here any minute.
Chill out. You'll ace this exam.
A knock at the door.
That's Ashpenaz.
Coming, sir.
The four scramble to finish tidying the last few stray objects in the room. Another knock, harder.
Secret Service. Area.
Everyone freezes. They look at each other. Who will open the door? Shadrach goes to the door. Enter Arioch, probably with one or two others of his agents. Someone seizes Shadrach.
There you are.
Hey, what are you...
Looking everywhere for...
Let go!
What on?
What's this?
You were under arrest.
Wait, no.
No!
There must be... What is...
King's decree.
Where's Ashpenaz?
Please, I don't want...
Wait, hold up.
Come, just...
Wait a sec.
Haven't got time for...
What's this for?
Said before, King's decree.
What decree?
You don't know?
No. Sir, you've got the wrong...
Really?
Yes, no idea. Can we please at least know what we're being arrested for?
King's decree. Didn't you...
We didn't hear it. Nothing. What did it say?
All the wise men of Babylon are to be rounded up and executed.
What? Why?
Well, he demanded they tell him his dream before explaining it.
And they couldn't.
Exactly.
Then why are we being arrested?
I'm following orders. Frankly, it's me or you.
Wait. Hold up. I will interpret the dream for him.
Look, you're intelligent, I know, but this...
I will. Give me some time and I will.
For what? Ashpenaz asked that too, and look what...
Please, sir.
I have my orders.
Yes, of course. But hear me out.
Belt it.
One chance.
Fine. I'll hear you.
Thank you, sir. It's simple enough. Stay the execution for one night. Let the four of us pray here in this room to our God. Then take me to the king in the morning. And you can take some credit. The king will probably reward you.
I'll need to post a guard outside your room.
Of course, as many as you want.
All right, have your way.
Shadrach is released.
I admire your confidence in your God. I hope it pays off.
Arioch exits. The four are alone, and in that space they breathe a collective sigh of relief. Daniel practically collapses onto the floor.
How you do it, Daniel?
Guys, you've got to help me. I'm terrified out of my mind.
Daniel.
I'm going before the king tomorrow. I'm shaking.
We all are.
To tell him is... Michelle, what if God...
He has to.
I have to eat, have to sleep, have to be alert. How will I?
Daniel, you said it's God who feeds us, remember?
Pray with me. Pray for me. Help me.
The four of them kneel with Daniel on the floor. Blackout. In the black, the voice of the angel of the Lord. It seems to reverberate around the room.
Daniel. Do not be afraid, Daniel.
Dims light on Daniel, asleep. The angel moves over to him, perhaps touching him.
On my account, you will be brought before kings. Do not worry about what to say or how to say it, for at that time I will teach you what to say.
After a moment, blackout. The angel resumes his seat. The cabinet room. Nebuchadnezzar sits alone at the head of the table. Arioch has just entered.
Your Highness. Your Highness, you look awful.
Didn't sleep.
I can tell.
Go away, area. Not seeing people today.
Your Highness.
Go tell the Chancellor to organize a tour of the realm. I could really use it.
Your Highness.
What?
I found someone who can tell you your dream.
Didn't you hear what? Wait, what?
I found someone.
You found someone?
Yes, sir.
Really? Who? Bring him in, I guess.
Arioch exits briefly. He re-enters with Daniel, who stands before the king.
You're kidding me.
Nebuchadnezzar stares Daniel down.
Who are you? I've never seen you before.
Silence.
Highness Belshazzar, one of the Judeans.
What? Seriously, are you kidding me right now? How would he be able to...
Your Highness, on my own, I'm not. I can't.
Ah, fantastic way to start a speech. Cut to the chase, Belshazzar.
Silence. Daniel is frozen in place.
Sit down. Give him some water. Looks like a train just hit him.
Daniel sits down, taking the opportunity to collect himself. Nebuchadnezzar pulls up a chair and sits across from him.
Why are you here? If you can tell me my dream, then do it. Let's skip the speech.
Your Highness, these dreams started the night after your victory procession, correct? Your Highness?
Who told you that? Arioch, did you tell him that?
No, why would...
Really? You're sure? Now, I would have thought better of...
I swear I didn't.
Your Highness, may I? Your Highness, the night you were thinking about the future of your kingdom, your mind was racing.
What?
Your Highness, I worship a God who reveals mysteries. May I reveal one to you?
Go on.
Your Highness, when you finally did fall asleep, you dreamed.
We enter Nebuchadnezzar's dream world. It is just Daniel and Nebuchadnezzar. Everything else melts away. Maximum surrealism. Perhaps a subtle drone in the background, distant sounds of economic activity of life being lived. A large skyscraper appears and dominates the dream world. It looks magnificent, despite it not being quite finished.
You were planning the grand opening of your magnum opus, a magnificent skyscraper taller and more beautiful than anything in the world. Your head architect was giving you a tour.
Daniel assumes the role of the head architect. Location, the observation deck.
The top floor was an observation deck and a 5-star restaurant. The view, impeccable, awe-inspiring, and very, very expensive. The entire floor, including walls and carpet, was made of pure gold, so pure it radiated light. The baseboards were coated in silver, and the walls studded with gems of every imaginable kind. Adorning one of the walls was an enormous portrait of you, Your Highness. Presidents and cabinet members, dignitaries and millionaires, everybody who is anybody, flitted between the restaurant and observatory, talking about everything of importance. Then your architect took you downstairs.
Location, art gallery.
This floor, although it looked pale in comparison to the observation deck and restaurant, was still very beautiful in its own right. The walls were of pure silver and the floor of polished marble. Paintings by all the most famous artists of the world lined its walls. Your architect could not get you close to them for all the people in the way, so he took you downstairs again.
Location, computer room.
Next, he took you to the Nexus. Here, the walls were of polished bronze, so smooth you could see your reflection in them. Thousands upon thousands worked here, running the world from behind rows and rows of screens. Everyone was too busy to take much heed of you, and you didn't want to disturb them anyway, so you moved on.
Location, military briefing room.
On this floor, you met your generals as they were talking together, discussing the logistics of your next campaign. The walls of this floor were made of stainless steel, and its floors of polished concrete. Guns lined the walls. A single spotlight shone on a large map of your empire, which you took some time to behold in all its glory. However, your architect urged you on.
Location, foundation.
Until you hit the basement floor. And what you saw appalled you. The walls, they were of rough concrete, with gaping holes where there should have been windows. The floors were of asphalt, and the support beams looked like they had been eaten through by a swarm of termites. Flitting about the place were all sorts of ragged, shiftless faces, looking up at you as they passed.
The faces begin to encircle Nebuchadnezzar, crowding into him and oppressing him.
You begged your architect to return you to the golden observation tower on the top floor, but he was nowhere to be found.
A figure appears. He is the angel of the Lord.
And then a figure appeared in your dream, out of nowhere. He touched one of the rotted support beams. The entire building collapsed around you.
The building collapses.
You found yourself once again on the top of the nearby hill. You looked where the skyscraper should have been, but nothing remained of it. Just an empty, brown field. But the man who had touched the beam, from him radiated an entire city of gold, so pure you could practically see right through it.
Bright light, and then near darkness, the skyscraper.
Your Highness, that was your dream. God Almighty has given me the authority to rule, has given you the authority to rule over the whole world in all its beauty and glory. That skyscraper of gold, silver, bronze, steel, and concrete is your own kingdom of Babylon. But in the lifetime of your descendants, God will tear it all down and set up his own kingdom here on earth, which will never be destroyed.
Blackout. Nebuchadnezzar's cabinet room. Nebuchadnezzar has long since fallen on his knees before Daniel. He is speechless for quite some time.
Never in my life. Are you one of the gods?
No, Your Highness, no.
You have the wisdom of one.
No. I serve a God who reveals mysteries. It was...
Suddenly, Nebuchadnezzar stands up, takes off some of his regalia, and puts it on Daniel.
I'm voting you to governor of Babylon.
Wait, what?
Don't act so humble.
But I'm...
And come to think of it, you could teach those Chaldeans.
But...
Also, Erica, go at the treasurer for 5 or 6 gold bullion, and have the servants get him new clothes while you're at it.
Yes, sir.
Don't. There's more where that came from.
Your Highness.
By the way, feel free to promote who...
I'm speechless.
Don't be. Hang on. Go. Later.
Get what?
I have some incense for you.
For me?
For your god, yes, but for you. Burn it as a thank you from me to him. I want him on my side.
Will do.
End of scene. Music. An office. Shadrach and Abednego are working. Meshach comes in with a stack of paper much too heavy for him. It takes a while for Shadrach and Abednego to notice, but they eventually do.
Here.
Shadrach helps Meshach. He breathes a sigh of relief.
You know something?
Yeah?
It amazes me. One paper can pretty much float, but 100 of these guys?
Yeah.
And you're crushed by the weight.
No kidding.
Should be a metaphor for something.
Civil service?
Yeah, except when you get an elephant of a problem thrown on top.
That's when you take 2 trips.
You know what?
True that.
You carry it next time.
Not my job.
Is too.
I'll just have to ring up.
Oh, no. I've been around.
Well, I'm very sorry, sir, but...
Yeah,
I think I'll just step in and...
Speak to your higher up. Oh, there he is. How convenient.
Sorry, this guy is still learning that.
I'm not.
Sir, I'll go ahead and forward your case number, 721.
No, gah!
They have a good chuckle over this. Their mood shifts. They start organizing the papers that Meshach brought in.
So, what's on the docket for...
We got all these paper too.
And I think we should...
Hey, guys.
I'll just take these and...
No, actually, I think these
Speaking of elephants...
Ashpenaz needs more of these.
There's one in the room, and...
Take care of these?
And I'll take these over.
And these go...
Meshach spills the papers he is holding onto the floor. They go everywhere.
Mishael.
What's that for?
Guys, what about tonight?
Picking up the papers.
We'll get there when we get there.
We can't do it.
Mandatory.
What do we do?
We'll decide after work.
The ceremony's right after work.
Why shouldn't we? It's just an oath of allegiance.
Unconditional allegiance.
Where on earth is Daniel when you need him?
Perfect timing for official business.
Lucky him.
Silence.
Guys, we stay home.
We don't attend at all?
Yeah. God help us.
Blackout. Music as heard before an official ceremony. Darkness. The silhouette of a skyscraper from Nebuchadnezzar's dream. The music has finished. Some excited crowd noise. Then the voice of a herald resonates around the room.
Attention!
The crowd quiets down.
At this time, we will now proceed with the ribbon-cutting ceremony.
As the herald continues speaking, the fiery furnace slowly begins to glow with a sinister, fiery light. The crackling of fire. The furnace will remain a presence throughout the scene and the next 2.
I remind everyone that full participation in the ceremonies, including bowing down when the band plays, is absolutely mandatory. And now, without further ado, Ashpenaz, Chief of Staff, will now commence the ceremonies.
Sound of applause, and perhaps a few more bars of music. The soundscape fades, but both the skyscraper and furnace remain. Cabinet room. Nebuchadnezzar and Arioch enter together. Nebuchadnezzar is wearing his full royal regalia. He sits down in his chair and begins to take them off, laying them wherever there's space.
Arioch, how did you say that went?
Well, Your High,
Well, what?
it went well.
Oh, yes, I agree. Time these things came up, put them somewhere else.
Resenting the menial service just a touch.
Yes, Your Highness.
Everyone bowed. Every single person.
You more at ease now?
Kidding. Are kings ever at ease? The moment you let your guard down, that's when you feel the knife in your back.
Should I send for some coffee?
Speaking of, weren't the Egyptian envoys arriving today?
No idea, Your Highness.
I'm done with people today. A walk in a garden, if only. Heard from Belteshazzar?
Again, Your Highness.
Has he arrived in Persia?
Should I ask the Chancellor?
I'm meeting with him later. I could use some coffee.
I'll send for some.
Thanks. Oh, Arioch, what would I do without you?
I wonder that sometimes.
Lightly.
Do you? What, just below your pay grade?
Kinda, yeah.
Should I pay you more?
Your call, Your Highness.
Good answer.
Arioch goes off. A moment, always too short of the rest of Nebuchadnezzar. A knock.
Come in.
The chorus of Chaldeans enters.
Your Highness.
We have something.
Please, come back tomorrow. I'm done with people.
Traitors! Listen, Your Highness. There are traitors in your staff.
Who? And how did you find that out?
Your Highness, we've observed
We've observed that there were three
Judeans.
Okay.
Who were not at the ceremony.
this mandatory ceremony, mind you.
And needless to say, they did not bow down.
Talk about not listening to you, Your Highness.
That's
absolutely
Arioch
unacceptable.
You are Nebuchadnezzar,
King of the whole world.
favored of Marduk.
Lord of Assyria.
Conqueror of...
Stop! Again, how did you learn this?
We were supposed to meet them for dinner beforehand.
And they didn't show.
How did you really learn this?
We were looking for them.
And didn't find them.
And why were you looking for them exactly?
No response.
Thought so.
We came and told you, Your Highness. We thought you'd like to know.
Names?
Shadrach, Meshach.
No! Shut up. Thank you. I'll investigate this. You can leave now.
After another moment, the Chaldeans decide it's probably best to leave. So they do.
What was that?
Arioch, go get Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Bring them here.
Yes, sir.
As Arioch begins to leave,
Where'd you put my regalia?
Over there.
Thank you.
to himself,
Why does this always happen?
Arioch exits. Nebuchadnezzar puts them back on. Lights dim. Lights up. Cabinet room. Nebuchadnezzar finishes putting on his regalia. He's not being particularly patient. Arioch, and very probably another Secret Service agent or two, enters, leading in Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. The chorus of Chaldeans sneak in behind them and watch from the sidelines, perhaps even in the audience.
All hail His Royal Highness, King Nebuchadnezzar, second of his...
Thank you, Arioch. Let's cut to the chase. I have another meeting in an hour, and I would like to not drink my coffee lukewarm. So, I've been told that you didn't attend the ceremony. Why?
No response.
Look, if there's extenuating circumstances, we can work with that.
No response.
Why not?
Your Highness.
We couldn't.
Oh, obviously. Did something come up? Sick? Death in the family? Too crowded?
No response.
Hey, tell you what. I'll get my band ready. We'll go out there right now. You bow down. Problem solved. We all go home and I get my lukewarm coffee.
No.
The furnace reminds us of its presence.
No. No?
What he means, Your Highness, is...
We can't.
What? You've yet to tell me why you can't just get this over with.
We won't worship
anything
that isn't God.
Oh, so it isn't. I am not saying you can't worship your God. Pray to him. Do whatever. I don't care. But keep it to yourself.
Your Highness, we have, up to now.
But we can't do this.
All I'm asking, a public show. It's just a public show.
No.
You idiots. You'll be burned alive.
We're well aware.
No, you're not. If you don't, I will tie you up and I will throw you alive into that furnace. Do I make myself clear?
No response.
Bow down.
No.
Arioch, you and your men heat that furnace up 7 times.
Your Highness.
I don't care, Arioch. Do it or you'll be first.
He does so. The furnace gets hotter, louder, and brighter until it reaches a sinister roar.
Listen, I command you as king. Bow down now. Now!
No.
Why are you throwing your lives away? Does the furnace mean nothing? Or do you think that some god would save you? Oh, that's it. Must be. You flout me because you're certain some god will save you. Well, I've got news. I've done this before. I've burned traitors alive right there. And guess what? Never seen again. Not even their ashes. Be reasonable. Bow down.
Your Highness, our God, he has...
God. Don't even. I conquered your God. I demolished his temple. All his silver and gold. Sitting here in my palace. Couldn't stop me then. Come on. Why we save you now?
Your Highness, he may not. He may be powerless, but we won't worship anything or anyone except him.
Deafening silence. The furnace seems hungrier than ever.
So,
To the Chaldeans.
you idiots were right after all. Burn these traitors.
You're...
Do as I say. I won't be disobeyed by a couple insolent, treacherous captives.
Chaos erupts. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego are bound and led up to the mouth of the furnace, which is probably just off stage. Amidst the chaos, the angel of the Lord gets up from his seat and begins to walk towards the furnace. Nebuchadnezzar yells something to Arioch, unintelligible, over the roar of the furnace. Arioch and his men throw the three friends into the fiery furnace. The flames engulf them. Arioch stumbles away from the mouth of the furnace and collapses onto the ground. One or two of the Chaldeans make it over to Arioch. He is clearly dead. Nebuchadnezzar kneels beside him. He has only a few moments to reckon with the collateral damage before his attention is diverted. The angel of the Lord walks into the furnace. The sound of the wind, a cool breeze, the roar of the furnace subsides somewhat. Nebuchadnezzar looks inside the furnace and starts.
What the?
Highness?
I've lost it.
What? Your Highness.
We threw in 3?
Yeah,
I saw 3.
me too.
I'm losing it. I see 4.
Projection. Amidst a fiery background, the silhouettes of 4 people.
4?
How?
4 people just walking around in there. Look!
They all do.
Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, come out! Come here!
The silhouettes fades. After a moment, the 3 friends emerge. The Chaldeans crowd around them, trying to look for any sign they were in the furnace at all. They all are completely unharmed, not even singed.
Back! Let them be. They've had a rough time.
The 3 friends start coming to terms with what just happened, much rejoicing and more than likely a lot of hugging. Nebuchadnezzar approaches them and touches one of their coats.
Okay. Oh, I'm losing it. Who is this God? Well, I think. Never mind on the whole bow down thing. Never mind. You are officially exempt. Still can't. Your God is amazing. Would a promotion make it up to you? Dear God,
Nebuchadnezzar trails off as he looks down at Arioch. To the Chaldeans.
And if any of you ever speaks against this God or his servants again.
The Chaldeans scatter. Nebuchadnezzar looks at Arioch. Blackout.